Hi, Pastor Ben Engelson here with Resurrection Lutheran Church in Channahon, Illinois. Just update here on our worship life going forward. So this Sunday, July 12th, marks the first week in which we will officially have two worship options. So I want to tell you more about that. The options are an outdoor worship service here at the back of the church at 9:30, and we'll also continue making our worship videos. So this video will serve as some more details about how our outdoor worship and videos will work going forward. I think it's important to note, just theologically, that however you choose to worship each week, whether it's here at the church outside or through the use of one of our worship videos, we worship together. The Holy Spirit keeps us united in worship, and worshiping here at the church or worshiping via video, neither is holier than the other. Both are faithful worship, both are a time to connect with God, to feel connected to God's mission that's happening through the church, and even to feel connected with each other. So whatever method of worship you choose each week, please know that we are still together in our worship, still together in our mission as Resurrection Lutheran Church to share the love of God. When you pull into the parking lot, please go on to the back of the church. The worship service will be in the back under the big trees in the back. So don't come to the front door. Those will be shut. Come on to the back. And just a note too on our worship videos going forward, I've had some questions about that. The worship videos will look a lot like what they have looked like. They will be made especially to be a worship video. It will not be a recording of what's happening during the outdoor worship service. So the worship video will continue to kind of be its own unique standalone video experience. So for our outdoor worship service, we will meet here at the back of the church at 9:30. And it's important to note that worshiping outside reduces the risk of coronavirus transmission, but it certainly is not a risk-free event. So we hope everyone takes that into consideration as you choose what to do each Sunday. And when we worship together, we are going to try to have some measures in place to help our worship service really balance two goals. To help this feel like a time where we connect with God and with each other, and also staying as safe as we can in light of this COVID-19 pandemic that which we still live in. So we'll do our best on these Sundays when we gather outside to help our worship service be a safe experience where we reduce the risk of transmitting the coronavirus. We certainly don't want that to happen. So when you come, please bring your own chairs. We do, of course, have a couple extra chairs. If you forget a chair, no problem. But in general, try to remember to bring a chair. And then there's a lot of room back here. A lot of room in the lawn, a lot of room in the shade. We've got this back driveway as well. So there should be plenty of room for us all to spread out. So when you show up, please spread out. And just a couple other things that'll be a little bit different in our hospitality. When we came into the building before, you were always greeted, someone shook your hand. We won't be shaking hands as we come in. We won't be sharing the peace in the same way either. But please know you will be welcomed, verbally welcomed on into the worship space, but we're just not going to be shaking hands in the same way that we used to. So when you do arrive, please spread out, make yourself at home. Family groups can stick together, of course, but then we ask that non-family groups kind of spread out a little bit. Got the 10 a.m. warning sign going at the same time. So spread out when you get here. I also feel like it's important for me to share with you how I intend to function when we gather outside for worship. The role of the pastor on a Sunday morning is a highly connected role, and I like connecting with you. It's one of my favorite parts about Sundays, but it's that highly connected role that is a bit of a problem in the midst of a pandemic. So to make that highly connected role safer, there'll be some things I'll be doing different. I will not be shaking your hand, no offense. I'll be smiling and welcome you into the worship service, but I'm not going to be shaking hands or hugging or anything like that. I will also, when I stand and talk with you, I will be intentional about keeping my distance. Once again, no offense. In fact, I'm doing these things because I care about you, because I care about your health and my own. And I will also have a mask on at times on these Sunday mornings, not during the worship service. It would be hard to speak with that on. But during the time when we have this opportunity to chat with one another and catch up, during that time I will choose to wear a mask. That'll be my choice. If you want to make that same choice, fine, more power to you, but we're not requiring masks here at this worship, so long as we're all doing our part to observe social distancing. But it was important for me to let you know that how we interact might look a little bit different, especially compared to how it looked in the life before the pandemic. But please know that I'm doing these things intentionally, out of care for your health, out of care for the health of our whole church, and just out of care for my own health and my own family as well. Just a couple other notes on things that we will and will not be doing on the Sundays when we're outside for our worship after the worship concludes. And once again, we're trying to keep this as a real simple worship format, probably around 25 minutes. But we have had the practice of when worship ends, people stick around, coffee, juice, fellowship, all that good stuff. We will not be having an official fellowship hour at this time. So if you want to drink some coffee or juice, you got to bring your own. And just in general, when people are standing around talking, we just ask that once again, you try to keep some of that space between you and the other person. Well, one of the good problems we have at Resurrection is that we have a lot of kids on Sunday. And oftentimes a Sunday morning here at Resurrection has kids, let's be honest, kind of ruling the roost around here. They're quite comfortable running about the church building. So one of the things for our consideration, and I say this too as a parent with two kids who also like running around the church building, is when worship ends, what about the kids? So I think what we're just going to ask is, parents, make a decision that feels safe for your family. If you kind of want to scoot out right away to avoid the temptation for the kids to be running around, that's an option. Or we've got some fields around the worship space too, that maybe if the kids want to run around, they can do so. But then once they finish running around, please coach your children on keeping social distance when they are interacting, especially with the adults here in the fellowship area. And just a note, so we've said the outdoor worship service is weather permitting. So basically on a Sunday when it seems like the weather is not going to permit us to be outside, we will make a decision by 8 o'clock each Sunday. And if we choose to not gather outside that particular Sunday, we will send out a word through our text messaging program. We will send out an email, and we'll also post it on our church's website. If you are not getting any of those means of communication, please let me know, and I'd be glad to make sure you get those going forward. Okay, one other thing you can do behind me here is our sanctuary. So we're also inviting folks, if you would be willing to bring a potted plant, a flower to put up here, that would be wonderful. We can kind of spruce up our worship space up here and turn it into our outdoor sanctuary. So any Sunday that it works for you, please feel free to bring a potted flower. And then of course, during the week, if you got an extra minute, stop by and water as well. I'll try to keep these things watered as I'm here, but anyone is welcome to drop off a plant and water as well. Once again, thank you for being part of Resurrection Lutheran Church. Going forward, we have two worship options, but let's think of it as just one worship service in the sense of we still worship together, whether it's through the video or here at the church. And please feel free to make the choice that feels right for you. And that choice may change from week to week, but please know as your pastor, I support the choice you make. I do believe the Holy Spirit keeps us united, even when we're worshiping in different places, and some of us here, some of us there. The Holy Spirit keeps us united. If I can be of any further clarification on any of these matters, please feel free to reach out. But in the meantime, please continue to keep the church in your prayer as we continue, as always, to pray that God's Holy Spirit would move us and guide us and help us to be a source of God's gracious love and God's gift of Jesus Christ in this world. Once again, thank you.